All right, we got another Saturday morning hunting for contacts. It's another on-call weekend, so I'll be in the house most of the time. Believe we have a few contests going on this weekend. And I need my headphones. Good morning, anyone tuning in. I'm just gonna get my radio set up and see if I can make a few contacts out there. I believe there was, I believe 6 meters is opening today. Let me see. Yeah, there's the FT8 signal for 6 meters. So there's a 6 meter opening right now. Might have to turn that volume down. It's down at 20. Yeah, 6 meters is open right now. But I'm going to check over at contestcalendar.com to see what contests are going on this weekend. I'm gonna turn that volume off. All right, we got the SKCC Weekend Sprintathon. 6:12, that starts at 12, so it's going on right now. And I gotta switch back over to the desktop. All right, right here we got the SKCC Weekend Sprintathon. That's if you're using a side key. What do they call it? I keep forgetting the names of them. It's not the one with the paddles, it's a straight key. And I have a straight key right here, but the color of it is lime green, so it's being blocked out by my background. And I'm going to try to do some of those SKCC contacts. They start at 12, it looks like. Yeah, they start at 12, so it's going on right now. That's a CW Portugal Day contest. What's that? The exchange for that is just a signal report and a serial number. If you want some DX contacts, that would be good to look at. Now what we got here? I'm not even going to look at that one because there's not enough time on it. There's a DDFM 6 meter contest. 1400 that's going on right now. Yeah, it's 1500. It's going on right now. Where's the exchange? RST plus your zone, CQ zone number. If you don't know your CQ zone, look yourself up on QRZ. Okay, 5 Whiskey Tango. And go to the detail tab, and somewhere in here it shows your CQ zone. Here's mine, CQ zone 4. So that's how you know what your zone is. What is this? It says worldwide, so there's a chance there to make some DX contacts. They got the ARRL. I always have trouble saying that. ARRL June VHF contest, which starts at 1800. That's in under 3 hours. And that is mostly 6 meters and above. So if you're a technician, there's a 6 meter contest for you, and they're also doing some FM. And the exchange is simply 4-character grid square. All right, so let's pop into Hamrs. Let's get my FTDX10 screen up here. I don't see it. There we go. And let's start on the 20-meter band. We're just going to hunt the spot page here. I'm going to move this over so I can see it all. Gosh, of course, the camera's in the way. Alright. Oh, that's 14011. That's below my privileges there. Looking at 14031. I heard a few signals earlier when I was trying to get in here, but as usual, my endfed has trouble during the day picking up stuff. Late at night it works great. Anytime when the sun goes down it looks really good. But during the day it's kind of hit and miss with an endfed. Alright, that signal's not getting any stronger. Not even moving the needle. Alright, let's go 40 watts. I can hear it though, it's loud and clear. I'm going to see if I can get it. N2YC out of New York. And I'm trying to put this camera for CW on here. I'm going to see what it looks like once I record it. Even though the signal is fading here. It says it's 11 dB on the RBN. And now the signal's gone. And that is N2YC. I can hear the call sign. Alright, so I'm going to move on. Looking at the waterfalls, there's signals to my left and right, but apparently they're not pota signals. Good morning to anyone passing through or just checking in to see what I'm doing. I'm just hunting the spot page, trying to make a few contacts this morning. I usually start out making pota contacts because they're the easiest ones to make. They give you the call sign and the frequency that they're on so that you don't have to go hunt for them. And I'm using Hamrs here to do my logging. I'm not hearing much CW at all. And I forgot to power off my speakers. Let me turn those off. I like to power off the speakers because sometimes they cause interference. I get a little static when I'm recording. So we just power them off completely. 619, no one's there. We're almost to the sideband portion. I wonder. Yeah, no one's there. It's another weak signal. N8NN out of West Virginia. I'm going to come back to West Virginia. Alright, so a quick pass through 20 meter CW and I didn't hear anything, not hearing any signals at all. I am seeing a few things spotted on the waterfall though. Let's see if I can get one of those on the waterfall. It's a nice slow speed too. Which reminds me to set my speed. I'm about 19 words a minute. 20 is a little too fast. Using FLDIGI to decode. Well, see, they're not doing pota, so I kind of lose interest in what they're talking about because I don't want to sit here and decode the whole message. I just want to do, I want to send a signal report. I want to send my state and then done. I'm not at the point where I can rag chew and hold a conversation with CW yet. I'll give it a little bit more time though. Alright, let's go to sideband. 234 is where I can start. Get that DNR noise reduction on. Alright, Florida, not hearing you. Not hearing you there. Now I will switch to digital mode if I'm not hearing anything CW, or if I'm not hearing anything sideband. There's something out to the left on the waterfall. I'm going to go back and get it. 220, that's too low. This is out of band for me, but I'm just listening to the signal. It was strong. Every time I do that, when I see a signal out to the left or to the right, I try to move over to it, and when I move over to it, it goes away. Alright, New Hampshire, are you there this morning? There's something above 257.
The Lewis and Clark Trail on the Air special event from November 0 Delta Charlie Alpha.
That was November 0 Delta Charlie Alpha. It's doing the Lewis and Clark Trail stuff. And his signal faded into the noise.
Something India, Japan, Lima, try again.
Take out some of the noise reduction and the RF.
India, Japan, Lima, is that correct?
Signals fading in and out on 14.240.
Okay, W6IJL, you're about 393 in Nebraska, November Echo.
Alright, he's in Nebraska. It's Sioux City, Nebraska, it says. Alright, his signal is fading in and out.
Oscar Alpha. Victor Bravo Alpha.
So I'm not going to be able to get
Whiskey
that on
Charlie 8,
240.
Victor Oscar Alpha. Whiskey Charlie 8, Victor Bravo Alpha. 5-7.
But that is the first good signal I've heard on 240, 250 here.
Whiskey 8 Delta, Mike Bravo, you're 5-9.
It's a Kansas station doing pota.
Oh, thanks. Be some more today, I hope. Thanks for Georgia. The 5-9. All right, Alpha India 5 Pop. I'm going to move on. Anyone else?
All right, he's down in the noise. I can barely hear it.
W85 uniform X-ray.
All right, everything's weak for me this morning on 20 meters. EZ7 pota. There's a call sign here, E7 pota on 14272. See where that is. Bosnia something. So that's a DX contact doing pota on 20 meters right now. Good morning, Howard. How are you doing this morning? I'm trying to find some signals out here on 20 meters. Not hearing much yet. It's another one of those on-call weekends where I'm stuck in the house. If I set foot outside the door, my phone will start ringing. Alright, somebody's above 282. Possibly 283 right here. That might be higher, 284. We got spots on... Wow, we got spots on 279 through 284. I would assume they'd be walking all over each other. But I can't hear any of them. Alright, 290. What was I hearing? I'm hearing a little bit on 284, but it's faint.
Romeo 4 Alpha Mike Alpha.
Not hearing the activator though. We'll move on. 295, 296, 303.
Frequency in use. Is this frequency in use?
Someone asking if the frequency is in use. I think he said Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray. Let's see if I can get him. Alright, that one's down in the noise as well.
Kilo Bravo 7, Kilo Romeo Bravo. This is uniform 0 Mike and a part here. And that makes and I got the second operator.
Alright, that one's faint as well.
Roger, this is a 5-9 and we came back for the second operator.
About a 5-5 here.
This is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray.
Whiskey Uniform 0 Mike.
Try that again, maybe I won't get jumped on. Mr. Ken, this is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray. Same report, same partner.
give them a try. I'll get some of that noise out of there.
Kilo Bravo 7, Kilo Romeo Bravo. This is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray. You still there, Mr. Kim?
Looks like they're in Fort Harrison State Park in Indiana.
This is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray. This is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray. Two operators. On the air. You are good.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
The Alpha Bravo 4 station again, please. Alpha Bravo 4, Kilo November, Mr. George, got the David in, good strong 5959. Please stand by, second out.
Playing around with the RF and the noise reductant to see if I can get a clear signal. Alright, Howard, that sounds good. I'm usually doing some type of radio on the weekends.
GSL, Whiskey Alpha 3, Alpha Echo, Echo, John, good morning, beautiful signal. I have 5757 this morning, Roger.
Sounds like the signal's getting weaker and weaker. And as soon as I make the contact, the signal's going to jump up to 5.9.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit swirly, but no problem talking to you. Please stand by for the second operator.
See, I'm not even moving the needle.
Hello, Mr. John, this is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray. Same report, same part, 0161. Well, thank you very much, sir. You have a blessed rest of the day and 73 for now. This is Kilo Whiskey 0 X-ray at a 0161.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
All right, the Whiskey India station, please stand by. Is there a Kilo India station?
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
Try it again one more time for me. You're a little down in the noise for us.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
Whiskey Tango.
Roger. Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
Hey, roger that, Mr. Joe. I've got you about a 55 here into 0161.
Roger that. I've got you 5-3, a 53 into Texas.
Roger the 53 into Texas. Please stand by. Good morning, Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango. This is uniform 0 Mike, and I have you playing 5-5 to the park today, Roger.
Roger that, Als. I have you 5-3, 53 in Texas. 73, and thank you for the part.
Thank you so much.
I was about to say thank you for the part. Of course, I'm not at a park. Now, that may have been a little loud because I had to pull the microphone closer. I'll turn that volume it's way up there. There we go. All right, logging with Hamrs here. I can put the call sign separated by a comma, and it will record 2 separate entries for me. FLDIGI. And Hamrs is talking to FLRIG to read the frequency. So I don't have to put that in. It populates it for me, and it also reads the mode that I'm using, and it'll put the power in. So once I hit save here, I have 2 separate entries for those that I just made. All right, let's go back.
Uniform 0 Mike, and you're a beautiful 5-9 in the park this morning, Roger.
Yeah, normally the signal pops up after I get done, but it's staying the same there.
Have a wonderful rest of your day, sir.
So we're going to keep looking. It says live. I was doing Thursday night. I was doing the RTTY contest, and I guess I hit the wrong button, and I only recorded like 17 seconds of a 45-minute recording, so I had to delete that one. So this time I got two big windows open on the left side showing me if I'm connected or not. So hopefully everything stays connected today. We were on 296 and need to go to 306. Still hunting for pota contacts. Something strong, hopefully. Although I'm not seeing much on the waterfall. I may have to play around with some digital modes.
Park, 3227, QSL.
That one's pretty good. Well, it was good, then it went away.
Sierra, Victor, India.
Well, that's, we got two spots on 14330. One in Washington, one in Minnesota. One in Minnesota is 12 minutes ago, so I'm assuming it's Washington. And I'm not hearing the activator. So move on. Hearing something from DC here. Minnesota station is kind of low. Normally don't hear Texas stations. Lake Corpus Christi State Park. Alright, so we've made our first pass through 20 meters with only 2 contacts. Here's a strong CW signal. See if this is Missouri or Brazil. They're going a little fast, but I'm waiting to see if I can hear the CQ pota. Because I already have the call sign here. Just listen for the call sign. Once I pick that up, then I'll respond. There's another dit-dit. But I didn't hear the call sign in that exchange. I'm going to listen just a little bit longer to see if I can hear it. Here we go. Might be KI5GTR. Was KI5GTR. Missouri. Alright, so I heard the call sign first when he was going with the CQ, and when he sent the exchange, he sent Missouri as a state. That helps me confirm that I am in fact listening to KI5 GTR. Les in Missouri. I had a contact with him 8 months ago, it looks like. Alright, we'll check the rest of these. If you want to learn CW, a good way to help you learn is doing a little pota, because you already have the call sign here. So I don't just come in and start responding. I wait and listen until I hear the actual call sign. Once I hear that call sign, I'll send the exchange. Exchange is just a signal report in your state most times. Some people will send their names with it, but I just send the state. And when I started out, I would always send a 5.9. I didn't really care because I was just learning. But as I started doing more CW, I started sending good signal reports. Then I started copying signal reports. And then if I get the chance and I see their name, I'll send their name. I'll say thank you and I'll send their name with it. Alright, that's another pass of CW, none of those. Just looking around. I don't normally get Texas. Yeah, I didn't get that. There's an active, there's somebody calling the park to park, but they're down in the noise there. Alright, we are still live, and we're still connected. And I think I might have found a partial solution to this main camera right here flickering. It has something to do with the white balance. I had to set the white balance to manual so it doesn't flicker as much. And for NJJ is asking if anyone is going to do FT8 in the 2-meter digital contest. Alright, so we got not much on 20 meters. Let's check some of these other bands. Be nice if we can get something on 6 meters. 10 meters is the phantom frequency during the summer. Someone spotted on 12 and moved 15. Fifteen's not even registering on my waterfall, so I'm not getting much on 15 meters. But I always check the FT8 bands. Yeah, there's a little noise there on the FT8 frequencies. I could probably do some FT8 there. NQ1F is on 17 meters. But again, there's not much on the waterfall. And 30 meters maybe. There's something on the waterfall. This, I got Discord coming alive again. CW. I think 124 is upper side 1. There's something on the waterfall there. It went away. 10124. Not here in the station. In France. And 40 meters during the daytime I don't normally get, but I will check it. Skip those because they're out of band for me. Alright, none of those. Let's go back to 20 meters. What was that? Still hearing the station in Missouri. See a strong signal out to the right there. Gonna go see what that is. Gonna have to wait for it to come back. I try to, when I'm looking at the spot page, I try to keep my eye on the waterfall as well, because sometimes you can pick up a signal that's like in the middle. 14046. Sounded like WB something. It's one of those long conversations, it sounds like, on 14046. Good morning to KJ5PW, good morning. Just looking around for contacts here. This isn't decoding too well. Alright, in order for me to do some FT8, I've got to close FLDIGI because they both try to compete for the sound card. So I close that and I can open WSJTX, which is here. I'm going to turn the volume down first before I bring it on though. Click it on 20 meters here. But first I need to move some cables here. Give me a second. This auto tuner from LDG doesn't like to work with my digital modes. So I'm going to have to step around and move something. Give me a second here. We're going to try a little FT8 on 6 meters because there was a band opening there earlier. I'm actually just switching from my auto tuner to my manual tuner. My manual tuner will let me do above 30 watts on digital modes. The LDG Z11, I believe it's Z-11ProII, has a limit of 30 watts when you're doing digital modes. So I gotta unplug that. Got that. I gotta put this down here. And then I can switch over and do 40 watts on digital mode. But let's switch over to 6 meters. And I don't need that camera for digital modes. Let's go A9.5 on the manual tuner. Let's click it on 6. Did I start the other thing? Doesn't look like I did. The other thing is Grid Tracker. Use Grid Tracker to send the logs over to QRZ for me, so I don't have to keep track of those logs. In Grid Tracker, I like to go in and adjust it so that it only shows me contacts from today. So instead of saying 30,000 QSOs right here, it'll just show QSOs from today. A quick look at the map here. Looks like I'm going northeast, all the way down to Florida for 6 meters, but we're going to see. Let's see what's showing and what's not showing. Let's take this over here, this over here. Get rid of some of this stuff in the background. Let's bring on the thing that says the meters so I can see my ALC. Put it right there. How about that? And I don't hear anything. Let me bring my volume up just a little. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So it looks like we're hearing signals over into Utah, but not out to the west in California yet. Somebody's doing pota on 6 meters, K9ZIE. I'm going to find, I've got a pretty good spot here, but let's move into that blank space right there. And still live over there. I usually start off hunting first. Whoever comes up with a good signal, like this 6 right here, I'll start with them. Looks like my ALC is high. So I gotta go check all this other stuff too. I gotta check my ALC, make sure I'm not overdriving the radio. Alright, we want it 1 or below. There's 1 or below. And we go back and we look at our SWR. SWR is a little high there, higher than I would like. Give it a little twist there. It's good. Alright, we want to be on A 9.5 on my little thing here. There we are. No response from K9FE, so I will stop there and look for somebody else. I usually give them 2 chances to respond. If they don't respond, I just move on to the next one. But there he is with a late response. Alright, we got our SWR down to less than 1.5 there. Alright, so we're ready to go. And just start hunting. There's a 14 signal. W9WN. It's got a 14 dB signal. But I'm getting called by KZ4AF in South Carolina here. Now, some people don't like FT8 in digital modes because they say it's not real radio, you're not really making contacts, but I don't mind it. It's a good way to see where your signal's going and what your signal strength is. Like, I know that my signal doesn't start getting into California till usually around noontime central, but I can always make contacts out on the East Coast. And these are more northeast this morning for 6 meters. Alright, KZ4AF is apparently not hearing me. So I'll give him one more try. One more. And I hope that this band is still open once the oh, there's his response. He's got me at -25. That's why he wasn't responding. He's not hearing my signal too good. But I've already logged him, so I may have to send him a couple of RR73s before he responds back with a 73. And see, I've got this. It's not supposed to be transmitting right now, but since I got a response, it came up and it responded to him. I think that's a feature of this version 3 of WSJTX, or I went in and clicked one of the options and I don't remember what the option is. But you can see I've got few signals showing up on 20 meters, but they're not all jumbled in. They're kind of spread out. Alright, ALC is down, SWR. Power could go up a little. We're at 40 watts. Let's see if I can take this power up just a little bit. Alright, and I increased the output on the sound card, which is actually the radio, so that it would come up. Alright, here we go. YouTube is not receiving enough video. That's because I'm doing FT8. And whenever it sees, whenever there's like not much going on as far as the screen, the YouTube will send some type of alert here. So I have to just kind of move my mouse around or something. All right, let's go on to the next contact. He didn't send me a 73, but he's in my log. Let's look for the next one. There's a 4. Darn it. Tried to click the one below it, which was a 4, this WA2JQZ. For FT8, normally I have FT8 running on my second monitor, and then I'm doing other stuff on the other side. But I just wanted to see if I could make some 6-meter contacts here. All right, there's the response. He's got me at -8. -8 in Ohio. And I want to take a look at the, what do you call the thing? PSK reporter for that. He did send me a 73. Automatic refresh. What do you mean just heard? I'm bidding. Says last heard 6 minutes ago, but I'm sending and receiving right now. Alright, so I'm going to call CQ. Someone has moved over close to me, so I'm going to find an empty space here. Right click, and I want to send my CQ on even. Most people send on even and listen on odd. So I got it on transmit even first, and we're ready to go. Still seeing most of my stuff from the Northeast. KV7N. Where is that? Like this time of year for me, I can only get 20 meters reliably. 17 meters will be in and out for me. And I can usually get 15 meters around sunset. But that's about the only time I get 15 meters. Alright, I threw out a few CQs on 6 meters. I just wanted to see where the propagation's going. Alright, no one's answering my CQ though. Now the question is, if I've got propagation on FT8 for 6 meters, do I have that same propagation for sideband? I got 2 people responding to me here. One from Wisconsin, one from Iowa. Wisconsin's -6 and Iowa's 2. So I'm going to switch over to sideband for 6 meters and see if I can make any contacts there. Of course, the one that I responded to first is not responding. And they're all up in the Northeast here, all up in this area. Alright, we still got a connection. It says live. It says connected. That's good. I guess it helped that I rebooted all my internet stuff. I rebooted my my cable modem. I rebooted my router, and I rebooted the switch that connects to the router. I did that late late Thursday, just to make sure I had a good connection. All right, W, that one. I need to see if I can get the AD0AR. Sometimes they'll hang around after you don't respond to them. As you can see right here, both of them responded at the same time, so I just had to pick one. We'll see if AD0AR is still listening. Then we'll try some sideband on 6 meters. Alright, I gave him 2 tries. I'm going to give him one more. If he doesn't respond, I'll assume he's not there. Alright, this is your last chance. Yep, he did respond. He's got me minus 15, but I've got him plus 2. And I'll wait and see if he sees the 73. Wait and see if he sends the 73. Usually if I get a signal report from him, and I'll consider that a contact. Okay, there's the 73. So I'm out of there. I'm going to get out of WSJTX. I'm going to get out of grid tracker. What was that thing I was looking at? I was looking at something earlier showing me the frequencies you can use. Like there's my propagation for 6 meters. Let's take a screenshot of that. How do you do that on here? You go boom, boom. You do like that. And it's on your clipboard. Then you go find Discord. You let the, first, what time is it? Ham clock says 16, okay. We still got a little time for the UHF, VHF contest. Good morning, K8, what is that, K8DXR, good morning to you. Howard, I just, I tried a little 20 meters, didn't find much. I got 1 CW and 2 sideband. 6 meters is open here for me. This is the propagation I was getting on it. I'm going to try a little sideband 6 meters. But first I want to let the guys in the Dallas Amateur Radio Club know that 6 meters is open. This is one of the what do you call it? One of the ham radio groups that I belong to. The other is the Irving Radio Club. Okay. The hope is that one of them will come back and I can try to make a contact with them, of course. Let's switch to the radio over here. Where was I at? Let's go to the calling frequency, which is 50125. I've got it in memory location. Let's listen and see if we hear anything first. Anybody got a radio? Put it on 5125.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, this is a great band. Absolutely fantastic band. So,
there's somebody down in the noise there.
We need to do that.
I can't hear them with my noise reduction on, but if I turn it off, they're down in the noise there.
Have a good one. Have a good Saturday. K5WLT, W8 FMC. Good monitoring. Yeah, it's Gene up here in Iowa.
Alright, I'm not seeing any other signals on the waterfall here. I believe it's 5100 to 5300 is for sideband. Let's go look real quick. 6-meter band plan was, yeah, 5100 to 300. It says sideband and CW, but you can do sideband there. So I'm going to look for any other signals that are doing sideband, which I don't see. So I'm going to go back to 5125.
KE8 has the W8 FMC.
That's where I hear the other signals. I'm going to go up 3. I'm going to go to 5128, and that's where I'm going to call CQ. But of course, I got to listen first. Make sure nobody else is there. I think I can pull in Hamrs here. Yeah, I can. Alright, there's somebody above 128. That's why you listen. Somebody's on 130 maybe? That doesn't sound like sideband there.
I have watt meter in line, but if all right.
Go back to sideband. Let's see, I can hear them on 5128. So let's go, let's get away from them. They were at 130. I'll go 5142 and I will listen there. Alright, there's something below 5142.
And the stuff drifts. You can smell it for weeks.
Alright, somebody's on 5140. That's going to push me out to 145 maybe. Alright, we're on 5145, trying to see if we can use this frequency. And I didn't just jump in and say, is the frequency in use? I waited for a while. So let's put Hamrs back on. And let's go. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Checking to see if the frequency is in use. We're on 50145. I think I put a comma instead of a period. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? And I'm not going to sit here and call CQ. I'm going to set up a recording. Is the frequency in use? That's the wrong one. CQ, CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ on 6 meters. I don't know if that recorded right.
CQ 6 meters.
That's a little noisy. Might be my mic gain here. Let's turn our mic gain down to 2. Try that again. CQ, CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas. Let's try it again.
CQ, CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas.
It's got a lot of static in it, in my ear. I'm going to have to see if that's what's being heard. So what do we want here? We've got break-in on. We want to play the SSB.
CQ, CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas.
Alright, anybody listening in the chat there, when I play the recording, is there any static in there? I'm getting static in my headset, but I don't know what it sounds like on the air.
CQ, CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas.
.6:21 p.m. in Germany. That DH1AO. Let's look that up. Peter in Germany. He says it's 6:20. Peter, can you tell me if there's any static when I hit the play button here? Let me switch over. When I hit the play button here, are you hearing static when I'm talking?
CQ, CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas.
Yeah, I see it's pretty blank there. I just wanted to see where you're from, where you're located. You know what I could do? I could hit the right button. I can switch. I could switch microphones and make my recording. Let's do that. I've got a condenser mic that I'm using, and then I've got a desk mic. But for the desk mic, you have to turn the mic gain way up to about 70. Same with the processor. And I have to turn on the equalizer. So let's do a recording from here. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas. And let's see what it sounds like here. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ from Texas. Yeah, I don't hear that static. But it is very low though. North Sea Island of 4. Well, welcome Peter. Thank you for listening in. Apparently there's a 6 meter opening. So I'm trying to do some 6 meter to see if I can get any responses. Even though when I did a little FT8 and I looked at where my signals were going, they were mostly in the US and they were mostly going out northeast. So I'm not looking for any DX contacts right now. I'm just looking for something on 6 meters here locally. Alright, we gotta switch the microphone back. We gotta go in and change the settings. With this condenser mic, you have to turn your mic gain way down or it'll be loud and staticky. I found around 4 seems to be a good spot for it. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Yeah, I don't think that's playing anything, so I'm going to have to do my recording with the condenser mic. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ on 6 meters. Let's get rid of that. Not much response. I do see something on the waterfall down below me, though. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Calling CQ. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Calling CQ on 6 meters. CQ from Texas, Tango X-ray. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. And I did a long extended CQ, hoping that someone would look at their waterfall and see my signal. But apparently they're not picking it up, so same way here, Peter. We had 6 meters good for about 4 days on into the evening, about 3 hours after sundown as well. But then yesterday there was nothing. The last 2 days, actually, there was nothing on 6 meters. I checked this morning for the FT8 signal on CW, and I was hearing it, so it looks like it's back this morning. But it's back for the sideband. The digital modes are there, but no one's talking on sideband. And I believe I saw desktop. I believe I saw that there was an AM calling frequency. Yeah, 5400 is the AM calling frequency in the US. I was going to try that also, just to see if I can make a contact. Got to set it to AM, and the power drops down to 25 watts. That's the maximum on this radio. The what is it? The FTDX10 will do 25 watts AM. So I'm listening. I don't hear anything. So I'll give it a second in case someone else is talking. Give you a little noise reduction and get rid of that hissing sound. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? I'm hearing a sound like there's another mic open somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. I believe that is the mic from my gaming headset. Yeah, Peter, I was watching that too. I watch most of Greg's. There's the microphone from my. Yeah, I watched most of Greg's streams, and I saw that he was doing FM, AM, and sideband. And the guy he was talking to in Colorado, I normally can hear him, but I wasn't hearing him that night. USB audio device. The speaker is... Alright, I got all the other microphones turned off. Let's try it again. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango calling CQ. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. We're on 5400. We are doing a little, basically a test to see if we can get a contact on 6 meters. What is the bandwidth on this? You can't adjust the bandwidth on AM. So let's send out a DX spot. Let's say DX 5400. My call sign. 6 meters. Alright, so we sent the spot out. CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango calling CQ. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Alright, we sent a DX spot out there. I believe I have a link for that. I do. The holy cluster. Do I have 6 meters selected? No. Alright, there's my spot right there. So anyone that's looking at the DX cluster would see that spot. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Good morning there, snow cones. Are you by a radio there? If you are, see if you can get on, what is this, 5400 AM. Trying 6 meter AM. Let's see if I'm actually getting into Colorado. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting into Colorado on 6 meters, possibly. CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. Well, I'm on the DX10, so it can't be that bad. Although I haven't made a AM contact on this radio. I've had this one for maybe 3 weeks now, going on 3 weeks. The reception is pretty good. It's much better than the 991A, and I like the waterfall 100% better. You can actually see weak signals down there. CQ 6 meters, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ on 6 meters from Texas, Tango X-Ray. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ. That's the long extended look at your waterfall, CQ, to see if someone will pick you up. There's only one other station spotted on 6 meters in Italy, but there's no propagation for that right now. Alright, so just wanted to try that and see if it would work. CQ 6 meters. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango, calling CQ on 6 meters. CQ, Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Alright, no response there. I did get picked up by my ham alert there. Alright. It's not there, so I will go back to my pota spot page, and I'll make another run through the 20 meter band. Let's go A5. Turn that down. Weak signal coming out of Colorado there. And we're just going to make a pass through this spot page again and see if we could pick up a few contacts here. This has got to be the slowest CW I've ever heard. Let's see how fast they're going. Alright, I did close WSJTX so I can open FLDIGI. Mode is CW here. showing up, which means it's lost its mind again. When I go to config and I look for the sound card, nothing's there. So I usually have to log out, log back in, and it picks up the sound cards. But I don't have time for that, so I'll leave it closed. Alright. I'll tell you what, I'll find a frequency here and see if I can hear you. Although I do want to make this super slow contact. Alright, let's see. Something open here. 55, 56, 60. Nobody spotted on 60. Of course, there's somebody there. And what else? 260, 263. No one's on the waterfall, but there's somebody right above them. There's somebody below 263.
Really close to this band. Well, it's really nice to talk to you
Okay,
again.
he's on 260.
See you next time.
But is anybody on 263? How about 14263? Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Kilo India 5, Whiskey Whiskey Tango. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Kilo India 5, Whiskey Whiskey Tango. Alright, no copy there. So I will continue. Hunting this spot page then. Yeah, I only heard 2 signals earlier, about 30 minutes ago. One was CW and one sideband. But the signal usually starts picking up around this time of day, for me at least. $14,249. Upper sideband. Go right ahead, sir. Strong pota 249, they're not strong for me. I can barely hear them. Yeah, sometimes it works that way. You hear them strong and I don't hear them at all. But I just poke around till I find something. I like to hear the guy that, I forget his call sign, but he's up in DC. And he will always be at like 4 or 5 parks all at the same time. And he will list them on his QRZ page. He'll just say, go check my QRZ page and get all of my parks, because he doesn't want to keep calling them out. Alright. Nobody on my waterfall either, close to 249. Alright, 053 maybe where we left off. And this is an on-call for me. Yeah, I tried different levels of DNR and I found that around 9 to 10 is good for this radio. I found that on 40 meters sometimes if I turn it off, I can hear weak signals a little bit better, but not on any other band though. Turn the volume down. Yeah, even these CW signals on 20 meters are kind of low right now. I can usually hear Kentucky during the day pretty good. May have to go and do some more FT8. I did a little FT8 on 6 meters and made a few contacts there. What did we do? I got too many windows open now. One, two, three, four, five. We did 5 quick FT8 contacts on 6 meters. I turned on earlier just to see if the signal was there, and the FT8 signal for 6 meters is pretty strong here. I'm just not hearing anybody on sideband. But that might change later on during the day though. Alright, back to sideband. Somebody's above 225. I can't hear him though. There's a little chirping sound, but I can barely make it out. 233.
Pota, you get on 20 meters again.
Alright, he's on 227.
Victor Echo 5, Quebec uniform.
Yeah, they're all kind of weak this morning on 20 meters for me. But it could change in 30 minutes, so that's why I keep coming back and forth. I'll scan through 20 and try some digital mode, and then I'll come back and then I'll hear a bunch of signals. WI6NG normally does CW, I believe. But here he is on sideband. Alright, Minnesota's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stations on 14271. What's the thing? That thing? 4 of them are in Minnesota. I can hear some of the hunters, but I don't hear the activators.
Roger, roger. You're 5-5 in my 2 parks. 0680.
Yeah, that signal's too weak to even pick up for me. 285 maybe?
Kilo Foxtrot 8 again, please.
Kentucky signal there is a little weak.
Stand by just a second.
I can make him out though.
I'm having some major radio issues here. Okay. Stand by just a second. Okay, Louis, can I get your call sign one more time, please?
His last signal report was a 44 there, but he's not moving my needle at all.
Okay, Kilo Fox 8, Echo Delta, Quebec. Michael, you're 5 and 9, US 3823, Illinois, and go ahead with your part, sir. Okay, copy, 5. Sorry, what was the signal report again, please? Okay, roger, copy the 5-5. Yes, sorry about that.
Alright, I'm not hearing that on 287. It's a little low. We are on 20 meters, yep. .304, 305. I'm just hunting the spot page here on 20 meters for parks on the air. Not hearing much. Utah's moving to the next park. I can normally hear Utah. I can normally hear Arizona. I can normally hear Neil in Arizona. Kilo 7, Sierra, Echo November. I usually hear him when I'm out at the state park here. Alright, nothing on 20 meters, people. Let's check some of these spots that we're getting. There's a 30 dB signal on 15 meters. I can hear it just barely. And he's doing 32 words a minute. There's no way I'm going to be able to decode that. So I'll just keep checking the spot page here. Somebody spotted on 10 meters here. Well, we got 10 meters, A9. Alright, I'm not hearing that 10 meter signal. I'm looking at spots coming from the DX cluster, and I'm looking at spots that are only being heard in Texas, and you can see the signals are kind of weak here, so it's not just me. And then you get some of the beacons that come across. Like these DX clusters will hear the 10-meter signals, but I can never hear them. 14057.1 CW. Alright, 57.1 is down in my noise. He is Pota Park. Alright, that's Rhode Island, but it's down in my noise though. So you got all these different sources you can try to make contacts with. The easiest one I found is just going to the POTA spot page. Second one is going to the DX cluster. And there are several different DX clusters. We got WA1W4 is on 18094 at 17 meters. Where's that? That is L10. I got the manual tuner plugged in, so I gotta switch it whenever I switch frequencies. Alright, that's still W1AW. I'll see if he can hear me. Oops, my key is moved. Doesn't sound like he can hear me though. There he goes. There's a response. Dit means you're done. So that's W1AW/4. And I saw that one looking at the DX cluster here. Where was it? Let's see if I can go back up and find it here. Yeah, it was this one right here. Going at 18 words a minute, which is right around the speed I'm comfortable with. Alright, so we will look for some more here. There's Mexico on 28. And again, I don't normally hear 10 meters, but I still check anyway. Because you never know when there's going to be an opening. A9. If anyone's got a frequency they want me to jump on, let me know and I will try. Dustin, if you're still there, we can try something on 17 meters. Alright, we got a strong signal on 15 meters. CW. Let's see if they're a pota thing. They are not pota. So we'll have to listen and decode. Got a pad over here. And of course the signal goes away. And nothing else is on the waterfall for 15 meters. Let's try this station. Not hearing that one either. I can barely hear it. It's down in my noise here. Someone just popped in for sideband. They must have just spotted themselves. I'll give them a second, see if I can hear them. They're in Idaho. Another 10 meter spot. 21031.9. A spot from France right there. Not hearing that one either. K4WOP. All I'm looking for is I'm looking for a good signal here. Normally if it's more than 20 dB I can hear it. So I check those first. They're on A5. But just because the DX cluster can hear it doesn't necessarily mean that I can hear it. But I still go check it anyway, just to be sure. Alright, we got AA2A on 15 meters. I'm just copying and pasting the frequency. 15 meters is a little different. It's A7. Alright, the 20 meter band is not good for me right now. 14034. The only thing I heard was on 17 meters. Alright, here's one. WA4AMT. He is on 20 meters. Let's see if it's a pota spot. 34. It is not a pota spot. So I'm going to listen to this contact and see if he's doing a short signal report or if he's doing one of the long ones. Yeah, that's 10 meters in my cluster, but I'm only listening for spots coming from Texas stations. So these are all being heard in Texas. It's normally these two stations, the N5RZ and the K5TR. And they're normally hearing beacons during the day. Like I'm not hearing this 14034. Like here's a good one, 24 dB, 14038.5. I can just go up to that one and see if I can hear that. And see if it's a pota. It is a pota in Colorado. I hear him sending question marks down in the noise. And I can't pull them in even if I turn the amp on. So I'm barely hearing this one right here, Colorado. I see some signals on the waterfall there that are below where I currently am. But there's one out to the right there. Let's see if I can get that one. I guess I could show the camera. There's one out to the right there that was flashing before I tried to move to it. Never fails. As soon as you move to a frequency, it goes away, disappears. I heard a dit there. May have been someone hunting this KE9 ABT. Signal out to the far right is the FT8 signal. That just lets me know that there's something active on the band if I can see FT8. Alright, let's go back down and see if we can get those other two. That's just a signal, I don't know what that is. Well, it's just a constant buzz, don't know what that is. There's another signal right next to it. That disappears when I pull up to it. I heard the contest. You're going too fast there, buddy. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing to work. This DX10 is supposed to have a decoder on it. Let's turn on the decoder. But you have to match the speed of the CW for it to decode properly. I lost the signal because I touched the wrong button. So I gotta go back and find the signal. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, it's 33 point something. 33.3 is where we are. Alright, let's turn on our decoder. Alright, 33.3. The speed to whatever they're sending with for it to decode properly. It's apparently more than 20 words a minute. Alright, he's sending CQ contest and then SA. His call is AA3B. I need to go find out what that contest is, so we'll go back to contestcalendar.com. He's saying SA. So let's see here. See an SA for a contest name over here. And I went through earlier and looked at all the contests that are going on, and I don't remember anything with an SA in it. Portugal Days. And of course he stopped sending. Alright, it is now 17:09. That sideband, that's SKCC, I know what that is. Portugal Day. USN. So I couldn't respond to that one because I don't know what contest it is. It is something called SA. Or is he calling South America, Maisie? Alright, cluster spot for Belgium on 21-274. Unfortunately, that is below my privileges. I start at 21-275. I'm not hearing them on 21-274. Yeah, but I'm a general in the US, the general starts at 21-275. Asia Pacific Sprint. Okay. So we were just looking at the cluster spots here, still trying to get one. 14010 is below my privileges. It's a 24 dB signal, but I just want to see if I can hear it. So it's just propagation for my endfed during the day. It's not normally that good, but I still come out here and try to see what's out there. There's a weak signal. There's a strong one on. There's another one on 10 meters, 28017. A 23 dB signal. And I hear nothing but dead air on 10 meters right now. Uh, 10 meters is A9, it says. So I might be able to hear this one on 17 meters. I heard somebody on 17 meters earlier. And they are L10. Alright, nothing heard. It's one of those days. Let's see what we got for solar conditions here. It's not too bad. It says quiet. Sunspot numbers down. It's at 40. The A is kind of high, but I don't usually worry about the solar conditions. I just get on the radio and see what's going on. Let's see if that 6 meter stuff is still there. Where is it? Yeah, 6 meters is still there. I still hear the FT8 for it. Let's see if there's any more sideband. Hit the wrong button, of course. Listening on 5125 A9.5. And what? It's 1714. And I don't want to do math and figure out what time it is. The VHF contest starts at 1800, so you got a little bit longer for that. Got my other radio set on 146.520. That's the 991A listening on. The calling frequency for FM. Just going to leave that there and minimize it. Alright, no sideband being heard. And before I heard like 3 stations talking. Three stations on sideband, but now I'm hearing nothing, so I of course will pop open my FT8 again. And turn the volume way down. Alright, who is NX? There's an N2XK, but it was at -18. My propagation looks the same. It's still going out to the east again. I'm hearing stations out here. There's one out in Louisiana. Yeah, we're at 40. We'll try that one and turn that volume down. Get back to our meters. We'll see if we can get this N3ALN Maryland. Comes back right away with a minus 16. I don't need that other camera. There we go. Not a lot of traffic on the band, but there's little. Again, YouTube is not receiving enough because I'm doing FT8 and nothing is going on the screen. So let's see who's our next contact here. One of these guys. Let's do the one. I normally try to grab the one with the best signal report because I can usually get those, but they may have a weak signal report for me, so there's no guarantee. Yeah, Germany to Mexico on 274. I still can't get that. And I normally give them 2 tries. If they don't answer on 2 tries, they don't want to talk to me, apparently. So I move on to the next one. So I think the 6 meter propagation is there. It's just that no one's using it right now. They're all on 20 meters, I'm guessing. And what do we got here? Anybody want to try 6 meter FT8, 6 meters? Alright, there he is. Finally responding. He's got me at minus 13. So I had him at +1. He had me at minus 13. But we are on 6 meter FT8 trying to make contacts here. We came in and made 2 right away. That signal there. K4XD in North Carolina. I can usually get North Carolina and Arizona. Those are the 2 states that I hit the best. And I'm running a endfed antenna. It's what is it? It's a Palomar Bullet with a 71-foot cable on it. Just an endfed antenna. It seems to work pretty good. I've got a small backyard, so I can't run it just straight. I have it going to the top of a painter's pole about 20 feet high. Then it goes down to a small shed that's about 15 foot high. Then it comes off at another angle to a fence that's 6 foot high. And then finally down to a stake that's 3 foot high. And it seems to work that way. I've tried vertical antennas in the backyard, but it gets too windy from time to time. And here in Texas, it's starting to get hot, so I don't want to have my coax sitting out in the hot sun. So I actually have the wire from the endfed running back right next to the house, but there's shade right there, so the The 9-1 unknown stays in the shade and it stays kind of cool. But the wire itself, I just let it stay out in the sun, out in the hot sun. Because I can replace that at any time. Alright, if they're not going to answer me, I'm going to have to call CQ. And everybody's jumbled up in this one little area right here. Nobody responded to me. I'm going to give them another cycle to see if they'll respond. A few came in. Don't look. So I'm going to move way over here in this blank space and right click. And that's where I'm going to transmit. So we're going to enable. And we got to click it on that one though. The one at the bottom to call CQ. Alright, I'm calling CQ on 6 meters if you are available for 6 meters. Got all this. Let's see. Alright, 2 hours and 13 minutes here. I'm going to make one more pass on the pota spot page before I call it for this morning. Let's see if we can get some responses for 6 meters though. And everything's going out to the east for me on 6 meters. Where is that thing? There. PSK reporter. Everything's going out east for me here. It's one station out west. Alright, calling CQ at 40 watts on 6 meters, not getting a response. Alright, we'll see if anybody responds here, then we'll switch to 20 meters. There's a response from Tennessee. I still got my screen in the background showing DX spots. You can see this is the window up top is my ham alert, so I got my call sign in ham alert. I'm sending FT8, so it spotted me there. Alright, Tennessee didn't hear me there. I'll give him this cycle and switch over to, well, I wasn't hearing anything on sideband for 15 meters. I'll see if I can hear anything on FT8 for 15 meters. Alright, so we made that contact. No one else responded to my CQ. If he sends me a 73 here, I can switch over to 15 meters. He didn't send a 73. That's not my problem. So we're on 15 meters. We're going to get rid of all that. That is A7, it says. Darn it. I am hearing signals. Oh, that's from 6 meters. W5XO, that's here in Texas somewhere. SWR is high. Well, it's below 2, so that's okay. W5XO, that's in Echo Mike 10. I think I've made several contacts with W5XO. Alright, he's not responding. So let's go into a CQ. We're in a pretty good space here, nobody's there. And I like to call CQ uneven just because. Alright, here's W5XO. It's a Texas station. And he confirms all his contacts here. I've got contacts going back to 2023. 40 meters. I got some on 60 meters from him, so that's pretty good. Get rid of that. Alright, there's a response to my CQ out of Florida. But a bunch of other stations popped up. Bulgaria and Italy are showing up, and Dominican Republic. So I'm not hearing anything CW or sideband for 15 meters, but for FT8 I'm getting some signals here. Alright, KM4RL, and then I got a +1 from W9US in Illinois. I'm going to go back to him. Just double click on him and it'll cycle back. Assuming KM4RL is going to send me a 73 here, which he does, so then I can go back to the other one. Alright, so I am +1 in Illinois for this W9US. And I still got live, I still got connection, okay. I was saying earlier I was streaming the weekly RTTY contest, which happens on Thursday night. And I wasn't paying attention and my stream stopped like 17 seconds into the stream, so I was still talking 45 minutes later and didn't notice that the stream wasn't running. So now I got two big windows on my left side giving me status of the stream. So if it drops out I can see it. So I got both of those. I got to go back into calling CQ on 15 meters. So if you can't do sideband, you can't do CW, try some FT8 or some other digital mode. I'm wondering if something like what's this thing called? FLRIG would still work on 15 meters. It is digital, of course. Only one way to find out. We're going to get a few more CQs here. That Italy station is minus 21, so I might not be able to get it. Bulgaria is minus 14. I'll try Bulgaria after this. Alright, no one's answering my CQ. I see Bulgaria there. Let me try them. LZ2, Italy, Italy. Alright, I've got 19 contacts for the day. Most of them are 6 meters and a few are 17 meters. I got K4C. That's one of those special event stations. Let's look up K4C. Miami Hard Rock Stadium. That's one of the soccer. That's one of the soccer call signs. K4C. World Cup's going on, so they've got special call signs for that event. I think that's the first one that I've gotten. K4C. Alright, I'm going to assume you're going to send me a 73. I'm going to try to talk to this Wyoming station. Alright, he sent me a 73. I'm responding to the Wyoming station. Then I get another call from Minnesota. Minnesota, where it's cold all the time, gray and cloudy. Snow's always on the ground. Lakes are frozen over. I was forced to go there for work one time. It was terrible. I'm used to Texas weather. I'm not used to being in the cold. Alright, we got the response from Wyoming. We're going to go back and get KF0QR. Assuming I get a 73, of course. There's my 73, and I'm going back to KF0QR. 80s in Seattle today. I'm sure it's the low 90s here. Yeah, it's 90 degrees. It feels like 99, it says. If it feels like 99, it probably is 99. Yeah, when it starts to heat up here, if I'm going out, I go out in the morning and I'm done. I might go out after 7 when the sun starts to go down, but I can't deal with the heat anymore. Hey Dustin, do you have, what do you call it? I just looked at it, darn it. I keep forgetting these names. Do you have a free DV? We can try 15 meters. I want to see if I can make a digital contact on 15 meters, even though the band seems dead for everything else. Alright, KF0QR is not responding, so I will move on. Looks like he's responding to someone else right now. He just sent a 73. Yeah, he's talking to a Germany station here. Looks DL2. That looks to Germany. It might be something else. But he may come back with a response. right now. But he didn't. So let's do this. So get out of WSJTX again. Let's pop open FLDIGI, which I can't remember. I can never remember that name, FLDIGI. Let's stick it on 15 meters. 21313. Yeah, that's in my privileges. I will start my modem. I don't need the volume here on the radio. I need to turn on that. But I won't be able to hear it. I need to switch. Hold on. Alright, so I switched over to there. There's no one on 15 meters right now. So it's pretty much guaranteed that they won't hear me. Let's go here. That's from radio. Go here. And it's, of course, I have to recheck my ALC again. Gotta check it on the radio. Do that here. Because it's still a digital mode. We can go 40 watts. We want to be at 3000 on the bandwidth. And with these radios, you got to check that roofing filter. Make sure it's at 3 kilohertz. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. That is the wrong button I pressed. I need to press this button over here. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. KI 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Alright. Since no one is on, I didn't even look at the ALC. Let me check my ALC again. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. KI 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Alright. I've got my ALC adjusted there. See you later, Dustin. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to try one of the other frequencies. Like 20 meters. Why did it do that? Alright, it did switch me there. 14 to 36. I'll figure that out later. Turn my volume up. I'll just throw out my call sign and see if anyone can hear me. If anyone hears me, it'll turn, I believe it's green here. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Kilo India 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Listening, listening. KI 5, Whiskey, Whiskey Tango. Alright, it did not change color on any of those, which means none of them can hear me. So 20 meters is not doing good for me today. But of course we had to check. This is FLDIGI. It's a It's a voice mode that runs over digital signals. Usually if sideband is not working, I can go to FLDIGI and it will give me a good signal, but not today. So we're going to do our last check of 20 meters for pota. Turn our volume back up. Get back on A5. Not it. That's because I got a speaker over here. Alright, we're hearing a little CW down in the noise, down to the noise. I don't have any noise reduction turned on, so I should be able to hear all the signals. Not hearing it. Still trying to hear signals, but not hearing them. AF0E. Not hearing much at all on 20 meters. But that's just here at my location with my antenna. Your results may be different, so go out, turn on that radio. This signal is breaking up. I can hear it, but it dies down. Let's see if he can hear me though. Alright, they did hear me. They're responding. Alright, that signal was a little weak, but I could hear it. And I sent him a 559 since it was a little weaker. 4 weeks ago, save. Probably would have helped if, no, it wouldn't help at all. Their signal's still the same. It's still low in my ear. Even without the noise reduction, it's still a low signal. Let's move on. We're going to make this last pass through 20 meters. And again, this is my on-call weekend, which means if they have trouble at work with some router, switch, or firewall or something, they call me and ask me to fix it. And they only call if I leave my house. If I stay here, they won't call me at all. If I go around the corner, they will call me instantly. Yeah, your 10 meters down in South America is good during the summer. You don't have any problems with it. Here in the U.S., it kind of dies out. I've had the most success on 10 meters from, say, mid-October to right at the beginning of March. That's when the best signals are for 10 meters for me here in Texas. Any other time, it's just dead air, nothing at all. But when the signal's good, you get stations in Japan, stations in Hawaii all the time on 10 meters. Alright, still trying to pick up some signals on 20 meters. Someone's above 248. But they're not registering on my waterfall. Alright, if you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button there. I usually do, I come on the weekends and just hunt for pota and any other contacts. If there's some kind of contest coming on, I'll come on and do that. There's a weekly RTTY contest that goes on. Let's see if I can find it here. Let me make this big. Back. There is a weekly RTTY contest that happens on Thursday nights. This thing. Every Thursday at 01:45 to 2:15 Zulu time. There's a small RTTY contest, and we try to make as many contacts as you can. When I first started, I was making 1 or 2 contacts, or 3 or 4. This past Thursday, I set a goal to make 10 contacts, and I actually made 9 contacts. So if you tune in Thursday night, I'm usually streaming that RTTY contest. And RTTY is a digital mode that you can use with FLDIGI. And I will sometimes go live when I'm out at the state park doing pota. Otherwise, I'll just have the camera there, and I will be recording my activation and showing some of the equipment that I use for pota.
Alright, thanks for running 73. QRZ.
But it's we're in Texas and it's getting hot, so my activations will be from in the car.
The Whiskey 8 station?
I'm hearing this one pretty good.
Okay, nothing heard. QRZ.
Let's see if I can get you.
Whiskey Alpha 5, November Tango Foxtrot 59, yes, 3823, Kentucky. Yeah, roger, roger. I'm running 100 watts on a vertical antenna, so I got it tuned just right on this.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
Okay, the Kilo Echo 8 Oscar station.
He's down in my noise, but I can hear him.
Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Radio Fox 59 US 3823 Kentucky.
About a 5.3 in Kentucky.
Hey, thanks for hunting, 73.
He didn't say QRZ.
Okay, the Kilo 5 again.
But most people just jump in as soon as he finishes with the
Echo Whiskey 59, US
previous
3823
contact,
Kentucky.
which is what I'm going to do this time. Kilo India 5, Whiskey Whiskey Tango. Alright, signal faded on me. And he's got a pile up there. And you can see the signal's not registering on the waterfall, so it's not strong for me here. $14,300, the, what do you call it? That's the, it's where they have all the nets for the stations out at sea.
I don't want to see that, over.
I can hear him though, he sounds good. Signal's not as strong as I would like.
Before we start the next round, if so, come now please, call sign and location.
That's another net that's going on, 329. Some of those nets you can just check into. Other nets, they put you on a list and they come back and they call you and they want to talk for a while. Alright, thanks for subscribing. Alright, I think I'm about done here since not getting too much on 20 meters. I may come back and stream some of this VHF contest for the ARRL. That starts in a few minutes here. Starts in 6 minutes actually. So if I hear something, I'll come back and start streaming that. So 73 guys, thank you very much for taking the time to tune in and watch me. If you've learned something, you got a question, go to QRZ. My email is there. 73